The year is 1940. And something isn't right.
We cannot continue to rely only on our military in order to achieve the national security objectives that we've set. We've got to have a civilian national security force that's just as powerful, just as strong, just as well.
Oh, remix. Good evening and welcome to the war, the information war. I'm D. Lake for Prez reporting for the MediaSpeaks.com tonight. ISIS. Are we still calling them that? ISIL, the Islamic State. Do you know who I'm talking about? Formerly Al-Qaeda. Better stop it now before I get suspended. Also, Ebola news. I mean, I can't possibly put out a video and expect to get any views if I don't put Ebola in the headlines, considering that it's October 2nd, 2014. And in tonight's top news, ISIS is COBRA, Ebola, beheadings, and more. I should have titled that beheading porn, because all our videos titled beheading porn seem to get quite a bit more views, whether that beheading is real and or fake. Right. ISIS is COBRA. Let's begin there. COBRA. Are you familiar with COBRA Commander? The commander of COBRA, Destro, Zartan, who could take on the form of other people like Mystique from the X-Men, and basically he's a master of disguise. He sort of works for COBRA, but not really. Sort of a little bit more independent. But he's an ally to COBRA. And these comparison lines that I'm drawing is what's really freaky, because it would seem to me that ISIS is COBRA. And this week in the news, Henry Kissinger and who was it? Was it Bill O'Reilly? The pinhead? One of those guys is just totally agreeing with him that we need a G.I. Joe world army. A world army. Like a United Nations world army or some kind of, look, if ISIS, this group that's being built up, funded, propagated, strengthened by countries such as Qatar, where we gave those 5 terrorists from Guantanamo Bay over to that country in exchange for the traitor Bo Bergdahl. Hey, have you heard any recent news about Bo Bergdahl or his fake dad? Did he shave that beard? Is he still talking all praises due to Allah though in the White House Rose Garden? Is that still going on? Did he shave yet? I haven't seen a picture. Is that his real son? I don't know. Supposedly now he's back with the military. No charges. What, the head of the Secret Service resigned this week? She couldn't handle the heat in the kitchen. Look, when Trey Gowdy starts grilling anyone, they're going to resign the next day. I mean, that's all I can tell you. Thanks for watching the show tonight. The questions and answers are enabled this evening. So if you'd like to join the conversation, click that button somewhere down here probably that says join the conversation, Google+. It'll be super awesome if you send me a question. I have it open right here. I can see it. So I'll know if you're trying to ask me anything, and hopefully I can reply. Tonight I'm talking about ISIS is COBRA, like COBRA, the fictional terrorist group from G.I. Joe. The movie, the comic book, the old cartoon, and that whole Hasbro thing. I mean, they're Hasbro too, right? And they put out that stupid Transformers 4, which was a big, long, hot mess. But G.I. Joe's had 2 movies. And yeah, and in the last one, Zartan, who I was talking about earlier, yeah, he was imitating the president. The U.S. president was really Zartan, working with the COBRA terrorists. And guess I'm going to get a little bit graphic here. Oh, you guys like this song?
Couldn't sleep for the awful fright.
Right.
Kept you up in bed last night.
Yeah, Ebola. We'll get to that. Here's pictures, images of beheadings in Iraq. Here's what the beheadings in Iraq look like. Actually, I believe that's Syria. Or I don't know. We're taking Iraqi soldiers and Syrian soldiers, ISIS is, and shooting them in the head lined up. They march them into the desert in their underwear. And they're conquering and taking over all this land and territory. Of course, they have the awesome ninja masks, according to NBC News. They always fly the black flag, whether they are Al-Qaeda, al-Nusra, or ISIS. Here, seen driving about 4 or 5 months ago in bumper-to-bumper convoy, which is the most ridiculous military strategy that you could ever think of. But there they are. Yeah, basically we didn't bomb them then. We didn't bomb them then, and that's a good point for me to set up a checkpoint in this in tonight's show. I don't have a timer, but I'm gonna try to keep this short and concise. Basically, Barack Obama has attended more golf than he's attended his presidential daily briefings. Okay, he's not in his intelligence meetings. And there's reports that they give him written copies, and that's on purpose because no one's there to fucking, stand over him and make sure that he's reading those documents and absorbing it all. So no one can go to Congress and say, I specifically told him this in person, because he's only showing up to 40% or so of his in-person presidential daily briefings. Imagine you had a coworker that you really need to be in contact with. You really need to be telling them what is going on and what is happening. And they're like, just send me a message. Let's just talk about it in email. Just write me a summary and I'll read it later. And then I'm like, hey, did you read that? And they're like, yeah, I got the gist of it. And yeah, I know what you're talking about. And you're like, well, what about this particular part? And they just feign like they read it. They didn't read it. I don't know if Barack Obama was reading all this information, but even Iran was warning over a year ago. You know, Iran, they were saying, yeah, we told Barack Obama about the Iranian supreme leader said, we told Barack Obama about ISIS like a year ago, and he hasn't done anything. And Turkey and Syria and Qatar and Saudi Arabia, it's all the same. Let's switch gears. Okay, so basically they're COBRA, and like I was saying earlier also, Henry Kissinger and the New World Order, they're using ISIS as COBRA Command to establish a G.I. Joe World Army unit. A world army, a United Nations something or other that is the world army. Okay, so look forward to more of that news coming out soon, because they're going to try to take this coalition and turn it into some kind of global G.I. Joe. Look forward to that. The reason that they're making ISIS COBRA is so that they can have a G.I. Joe. I know it sounds comical and Marvel comic bookish and Fantasyland and D-like is a crazy conspiracy theory, but when it starts fucking happening, go back and watch this video. I'm glad you're watching it right now so that you can stay ahead of the times like I do. Ebola news. Yeah. On Tuesday, it was one guy in Dallas, Texas. On Wednesday, it was about 18 to 20 people. Today is Thursday, October 2nd, 2014, and now it looks like almost 100 people. So look, who cleaned up the vomit? You know, Mikhail Thalen's doing a great job reporting InfoWars. Joe Biggs, he's like at the Presbyterian Hospital in Dallas, Texas. I'm like, Joe, you're just a little too damn close. You're freaking me out. I was riding the trolley this morning. People were coughing. I heard some bitch say that she was throwing up all weekend, and they were like sitting near me and like coughing, and the dude kept sniffling and like rubbing his snot on his shorts. I was like, dude, if I see one droplet of blood, or I don't know, I was a little freaked out. But you know, I mean, if Ebola is coming, it's because it was welcomed into this country, and whose fault is that? Okay, let's get to the bottom of this crap. Beheadings. Apparently, we're going to war against ISIL, according to Barack Obama. ISIL, which is the Islamic State in Iraq and the Levant, which includes Turkey, Kurdistan, Syria, Egypt, if we can have some of that. Maybe Iran, if we can get a little bit of that. Jordan. Israel, smack dab in the middle of that. Palestine. Okay, yeah, we'll take them too. Whatever. It's all ours. We're ISIL. And so we're going to pinprick these little missile launches. And I don't want to sound like a war hawk. I don't want to sound like I'm John McCain here, but pinpricks aren't going to get it done. Personally, I think withdrawing and following the golden rule and staying out of that situation, let Saudi Arabia go handle it. Let Qatar go handle it. Let Jordan and the Kurdistans, who put women on the front line, and 3 of them that got beheaded just in the news today, let them go handle it. If we put boots on the ground, it's not going to be until the November elections. So why don't we just wait and talk about it after the November elections? But let me go on record right now and say that it'll happen after the November elections, and then we can go back again and watch this video and see how right I am about everything. Let's go take another look at my screen share. Oh, ISIL, ISIS. ISIS in Syria. What about ISIS in the United States? Oh, they're underwater. Terrorist. This chick, Rachel Maddow? Who is that? Beheadings. Beheadings. PG-13 photoshopped beheadings. Oh, hey, isn't that Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, a.k.a. Alibaba? No, Alibaba is a Chinese website. Okay, look, we have this guy in captivity. Do we want to end this now? Oh, he's Central Intelligence. He's CIA. Oh, look, they drained the blood. I heart ISIS. Oh, they're now accepting gingers. So all you red hairs can go over there. Oh, here on the site with the site logo in the video. Oh, there's Jihad John, the dangerous terrorist. Here's ISIS in the UK. How many rows till we get to Jihadi John, ISIS terrorist? Oh, there's Baghdadi. We can't just kill him. Look at these guys. It looks nothing like Cobra Command. Hey, we all have our own styles. And oh, there's Jihadi John. This guy. This motherfucker wants to have a rap battle with me before he goes and decapitates another guy out here with his 4 to 5 inch blade. And why the hell would you shave the guy's head before you behead him? It's like taking the handlebars off a bike. I mean, it's easier to grab a motherfucker's hair and pull his neck back to slit his throat. But you know what? No, never mind. Like, it's easier just to Photoshop it. ISIS is Cobra. That's right.
Here is 1,940. And something isn't right.
Something's wrong when you regret things that haven't happened yet. It's a glorious day when morning.
Oh, there's ISIS. There they are. There's ISIS. Get all the characters. Get all the different styles. Where's the executioner? Oh no, this is G.I. Joe. Alley Viper. Yeah. Looks like a cop. Oh, there's Storm Shadow. Okay, there they are. Great, marvelous, fantastic, and wonderful. We have to create all these characters in this Hollywood world of America that we live in. Let me cover beheadings. Beheading porn in Saudi Arabia, only form of public entertainment. Let me click on this link. Is it me or screen share? Doesn't matter. The use of capital punishment in Saudi Arabia is based on Sharia or Islamic law. Well, I thought they weren't Islamic. Okay, well, try to follow along. They're not a state. And is prominent internationally. Saudi Arabian capital punishment in Sharia law is prominent internationally because of the wide range of crimes which can result in the death penalty and because it is usually carried out by public beheading. In 2011, the Saudi government reported 26 executions in the country. Amnesty International counted a minimum of 79 executions in 2013. Foreigners are not exempt. Oh. Their borders aren't wide open like ours, accounting for almost half of executions in 2013, so a good 30 plus. Unlike executions in most other countries that have not abolished the death penalty, executions of offenders are not performed privately in prisons, but publicly in central Riyadh, over there in Saudi Arabia, and have been called the only form of public entertainment. Woo! Beheading this weekend, mother. Forget the Chargers. We're going to the beheading in Saudi Arabia. Oh, apart from football matches. But I don't think they play football. I don't think they play American football. I think they play soccer. And if you're Kevin Costner and you want to email me privately about how you play real soccer with 3 days to kill, then fucking go for it, Kevin Costner. I dare you to. It is one of the last 4 countries to still carry out public executions. Oh, how fantastic. Don't we do that? Oh, well, we do it privately in a prison. Methods and scope. Saudi Arabia has a criminal justice system based on a hardline and literal form of a Sharia law, reflecting a particular state-sanctioned importation of Islam. I thought Islamic State. Okay. Well, they're just beheading the infidels. They're just beheading the infidels. Infidels. D-Lake. Can you go look up infidels on Google? Look. Bob Dylan? What the fuck? Did Bob Dylan make an album called Infidels?
Something's wrong when you regret things that haven't happened yet. It's a glorious day when morning comes without that feeling of alarm. So rise and shine. Now's the time to be alive, to stay awake with me a while. So rise.
Oh yeah. Here's infidels in Libya. There they are. Oh, the CIA took out. Didn't the CIA take out Muammar Gaddafi? We saw he died. He got raped in the ass on the streets. ISIS isn't what you might think it is. The mainstream media wants you to believe that the recent invasion of Iraq by Cobra Command was a spontaneous action, that Cobra is acting independently to claim Iraq as its own. What they fail to mention is that the United States and other key players such as Turkey and ding, 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 Saudi Arabia have been arming. Oh. Would now be a good time to talk about the 28 redacted pages and how D-Lake for Press had his report out a month before anybody else and a month before InfoWars and all that other stuff? No. D-Lake. Just because you go and listen to those Ron Paul reports doesn't mean you were ahead of anyone else. You got the idea from somewhere. Funding and training members of ISIS since 2007? 2007? 2007. And how many geopolitical daily briefings has Barack Obama missed? More than he's played golf, or not as many as he's played golf. Oh, I have a question from Save America's Liberty. Thanks, Don. ISIS was created by Israeli Mossad to get us to fight more wars by proxy. Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me, Israel. Thanks. Thanks a lot, Israel. Thanks a shit ton. Thanks to Israel and Saudi Arabia Hey, Don, what's Israel and Saudi Arabia's relationship? Seems like they have a lot of goals in mind. They're a little bit separated geographically, but I mean, basically what's separating them is Iraq and Syria. I mean, do we need pipelines or what's going on with that? But the U.S. is just like, the United States is just like, hey, excuse me, hey, taxpayers, hey, taxpayer money. You know what's really great about you guys is our super special relationship with the Mossad, which is the Central Intelligence Agency of Israel, and also over there in Saudi Arabia, Saudis, who behead probably like, what was it, 30-something? They probably behead like 10 times the amount of Americans that were beheaded, the journalists that we were supposed to be so goddamn concerned about. That the moderate rebels that were giving $500 million in arming of our money are the ones that traded them to the ISIS terrorists to behead on their nationally syndicated television show called Jihadi John, the weak ass rapper who can't even rap, who wears his Party City Ninja costume. Okay, look, I've already reported on this. That Jihadi John guy can suck my dick, and I hope he gets this message. Why don't you come try to cut my head off, motherfucker? Fucking cut you. I'll cut your head off. Bilateral relationships between the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the United States of America began in 1933. Oh, how lovely. When full diplomatic relations were established. Despite the differences between the two countries, an ultra-conservative Islamic absolute monarchy, Saudi Arabia, and a secular democratic republic, a constitutional republic of the United States. Take that democracy word, democratic Obama word, get the fuck out of here. We're a constitutional republic in the United States of America. And if you say otherwise, go to hell. The two countries have been allies. Oh, beautiful. Kumbaya, Saudi Arabia, kumbaya. Everything is awesome. Saudi Arabia considers the United States to be one of its closest allies and diplomatic partners. In recent years, the two countries have occasionally been described as having a special relationship with one another. U.S. Presidents George W. Bush and current President Barack Obama have strong and close relations with senior members of the Saudi royal family. How lovely. And then I asked, also in tonight's headlines, is Ebola the U.S. government's October surprise? Welcome to October, everybody. We've got personality in October. We got ISIS, and we also have Ebola, the virus. It's so wonderful. I can't wait for it to spread. I hope it spreads everywhere. Am I more safe because I'm a white guy? Don, I'm asking you. Don says ISIS was created. Oh, I already answered that. The Saudis aren't stupid. They know Israel runs the show in America. That is why they're buddies. Oh, well, doesn't that sound convenient? InfoWars is there to mislead people looking for the truth. Remember, Saudi Arabia owns Hollywood, says Alex Jones. He knows it is Jewish owned. Interesting perspective. I've been getting a decent amount of news from them. I hope I'm not being co-opted here by the Saudis or the Israelis or anything like that. But look, I'm an all-American motherfucker right here, San Diego, California. What? I don't like to think, I wouldn't want to think of myself as stupid, Don, and I appreciate you checking out my show. So, Don, let me ask you on the Q&A, what can we do to push back against this sort of invasion on our rights, our sovereignty, our constitution by these foreign entities, supposedly our allies, when they seem more like enemies and they fund our enemies, but they're still our friends. It's clear as mud, right? But what do you think is the best way for the United States to push back against an alliance with Israel or Saudi Arabia? Dawn. Okay, he's probably typing furiously right now. I don't know. Probably going to end the show pretty soon. Let me just try to do a recap, see if Dawn gets back to me. Saudi Arabia has a criminal justice system based on a hardline and literal form of Sharia law. They want to bring that here to the United States. That's why they formed Cobra Commander, and that's why Henry Kissinger and the New World Order and globalists say that we need a G.I. Joe international army, which sounds like a good idea on the surface, and that's what they want to get you hyped up for. But in all reality, it's really a bad idea, and you never know who's on whose side and who has whose alliances. I mean, next thing you know, we're working with fucking Storm Shadow here, and he's on our team, and we just don't know. Oh, ISIS in America, hey, they're now accepting redheads, okay? And hot chicks from Britain, I don't know how hot they are, but they're trying to go there to join up with ISIS. Real quickly, I do have a question. Do these ISIS guys get a paycheck? Okay, yeah, are they making any money by joining this? They're like, you don't make any money, but we make $20 million a day. No paychecks yet. They haven't developed their human resources because the human resources in Oklahoma, they get beheaded by a guy who gets fired for wanting to stone women. They don't think that's a good idea here in America. If you get Ebola, rush to D.C. and visit your congressman ASAP. Don, that sounds like a threat. I wouldn't suggest that. We first have to have the will to fight them. Then we need money. Okay, some more good points that you made there, Don. I mean, you're starting to sound like the guy that did the cartoon about the White House fence jumper made it farther than we thought, and he's sitting in the bathtub, and then he asks a cartoon Barack Obama who's brushing his teeth if he's yet tried the watermelon-flavored toothpaste. And so that got a lot of attention on social media because a lot of people cited that as racist, because if you have a black president and you say anything about fried chicken or watermelon, then you're just a damn racist. And if he likes rap music, then that's got to be his half-black side that's into that. Do you think it's Barack Obama's half-white side or half-black side that is into being gay? Huh. That could probably stoke a lot of racism. That's a very sensitive question. I'm sure Rosie O'Donnell and Whoopi Goldberg could fight that one out. We need AKA Freedom News on mainstream. It is going to take large amounts of money. Okay. Don, thanks for joining the conversation tonight. I don't know exactly what that means, but we all need more money. I mean, look, thanks for tuning in tonight, guys. I wish I was on a giant, amazing set that, I mean, I should go out and buy a tie and a really cool jacket with shoulder pads and, a nice button-up shirt with a collar that's perfectly fitted. Shave this beard down a little bit, take off the glasses and the power gloves, and just give it to you straight so that you'll trust me. Well, you know what? I'm not going to fall into that game. I'm D-Lake for Prez, themediaspeaks.com. I do news the way that I want to do it. I talk about the shit that I want to talk about. Thanks for joining me tonight on ISIS's Cobra, Ebola, beheadings, and more. Welcome to the war. D-Lake for Prez. Everyone check out themediaspeaks.com. See the work of Kyle Phillips, Sam Abediganji, and Anthony Court. Have a great night. Peace.